Welcome back to the Preneur Life. Did you know you can buy stock in your favorite athletes? Let's get right into it. All right, Preneurs, I know how you feel about this topic, but I have some thoughts. How much is really the sports industry right now? Well, it's actually $620 billion industry. So something I want you to think about is that players are literally employees for a team. So they're literally getting cut from a check, from the franchise owner, whoever that may be. Now, franchise uses players like stock, okay? And so what I'm starting to notice now is that the first time in history from what's going on right now is that fans can actually use players for a financial gain for themselves based on their players' performance. So you might say, okay, what really makes that different than fantasy, sports already? Well, this is what kind of makes it different, is that these players are already brands, and some already run their own companies. Some already have their own LLCs, some are S Corp, C Corps under their own names. And so now, instead of investing in their companies or investing in a team, now you can invest specifically in that player for a financial gain based on their performance. So I have a question for you. Could this replace sports cards right now? Because that's a big market. Can it really just compete with that market share? Because a lot of people right now, they're investing in either sports memorabilia or even the sports cards itself. But is this a new way of investing, be able to go directly to the player? Is that going to be able to take and get market share, compete with that, or is this going to be part of your portfolio? So here's even a deeper question for you. So what stops corruption? So if I'm a player and now I know I can short myself based on my performance, do I not perform high because I maybe have an auntie, a cousin, a nephew, a best friend that's betting on me? There was a big old scandal going on with the NCAA for a little bit of time with a bunch of reps that were unfortunately making bad calls based on making sure that they didn't lose any money because they were betting on that game themselves, or they had family members betting on that game. So what is the laws? What is going to be able to stop the corruption, if there's going to be any, from making somebody like a player not throw a game based on their performance? Another thing we have to think about is, how is this any different than just traditional gambling, right? Is this going to go more mainstream now, or is this going to go for teams or individuals alone, or is it going to be more of a specialized concept? So what is the pros for players or even the consumers that are investing in those players? Here's a couple things to think about. Consumers can now do what a franchise has literally been doing for decades. Okay? Now they're going to be able to invest in that player to again increase their financial gain. Now there's a financial incentive for them to be watching these players as well. Where at one point, the consumer was only looking at a team. Okay, maybe fantasy football, maybe fantasy basketball, whatever it may be. But now I can now make this activity a financial gain for me, where now it's an income activity by watching the game, because I have literally a stock that's playing on that court as I watch the game. So what's the cons for players or consumers? Here's a couple. You can lose your money like any type of investment, right? But what if the player gets hurt? What if they get injured? Is it short term? Is it long term? I mean, how many players have we all watched in sports get hurt? Like what happened to Kevin Durant and many other people that literally takes them a year or 2 years to even get back. You can look at Klay Thompson as another individual as an example. There's so many that we've all seen that can literally affect your stock value in that invested player. But also, it's not only based on performance, it's also based on fantasy projection. So what if the fantasy projection is very high and the performance of that player doesn't meet it? The stock will now be shorted. There's so many different scenarios in this example that I'm giving you here today that can affect you making money or not making money at all. So how is this compared to, the NFTs, non-fungible tokens, or stocks, or crypto, or sports memorabilia, or anything else we can invest in? At the end of the day, you're investing in something based on their performance, and you can't control the performance. So if you are going to invest, make sure you're doing your research, make sure you're looking at it, not because you're emotionally tied and excited about this stock or this individual, this player, whatever else you're focusing on, but simply because you have a financial gain and advantage for increasing that. And what's the most exciting about this conversation is now fans, consumers, you now have an opportunity to invest in your favorite player. Well, Preneurs, that's going to do it for today's video. Go ahead and like, share, comment. Go ahead and share this video with anyone that's into the sports world, that's looking to increase their portfolio, to get a financial gain and advantage for themselves as well. We'll see you on the next video.